What's up, guys? It's Dre. And I'm back at it again with another video. Well, this may be the first video y'all see because I've recorded other videos and I'm editing those now. But this one is not going to take a lot of edits. So y'all may see this one first and then the rest afterwards. So it's going to be some videos where I'm talking about, oh, I'm back doing this or why I've been gone. And yeah, I'm back now for reasons like, hmm, I'm tired of watching videos and hearing opinions and they're missing certain things that I really want them to talk about or I want them to hear or catch that they don't hear or catch or talk about. And yeah, I decided to do it myself. I'm going to talk about the things that I wanted them to talk about, or I'm going to let y'all know the things that I caught that y'all may not have catched. So here we are. But as you can tell by that title, I'm doing a movie review, and this was my first movie that I was able to catch on what you call it, premiere date, opening weekend. I think yeah. One of them days was literally I seen it the day it came out. So it's not the first movie I've seen in 2025, but it is the first movie that I've seen literally premiere date straight out. And I decided, well, why not? It's still fresh on my mind. While it's still fresh on my mind, I'm going to do this review because it's one thing that I feel like it's not going to get picked up on. And I feel like they should have made it a highlight in the movie because it played into a character or at least a personality trait of a character. And yeah, so one of them days is starring SZA and kekePalmer, and it's produced by Issa Rae. Also, if you have not seen it, don't watch this video because it's a lot of spoilers, but the movie starts out with Kiki. She is working. She is just now clocking out and she's waiting on her ride. And SZA pulls up and she's like, "Man, I'm sorry I'm late. I had to do this, I gotta do that." And Kiki Palmer is just looking at her like, "You're late again. You're late again." And then it turns out she's like, nah, you right on time. I ain't get out to that. And this whole ride, they're talking, catching up, and Kiki mentions, "Oh, you paid the rent, right?" And of course, it's the first. You gotta have the rent paid by the first. So yeah, so it's just like, hey, as long as you got this rent right, we good. We ain't gotta worry about nothing. We got that paid. I'm finna get this new job. She goes and talk about, hey, I'm finna go get some sleep. The whole shebang. What else? Do 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 do. I'm trying to get that opening scene. I'm not gonna go full play by play. Just trying to remember a couple things. Um, I think it was right off bat when she got off work, but I know, yeah, it had to be. So when they pulled up to their apartment complex, Kiki gets out. Susan says she has to go do some things, and was it Kiki? Yeah, Kiki. She sees one of their old neighbors on the side of the curb. Everything from the apartment. Apparently, they got put out, and it's just so unfortunate that his grandma had just passed, and yeah, and the folks put him out. Like, no, they didn't care, like, at all. Like, oh, my grandma just died. I need time to, grieve and probably get some things straight because I'm pretty sure the grandma was the one that was paying the rent. So he goes to, hey, you want to buy some of my stuff? And she's like, yeah, no, I feel like you should keep those for memories type shit. And And she goes on, and hey, she keeps on going. What else? Let's see. Um, she goes after that. She goes to the whole candy store lady. Now, if you from the hood, or not even just the hood, in your neighborhood, we all got we got the candy store lady. She got everything from chips, candy, popsicles, the little freezy cups. But this one particular, she got everything. She got every. It's like a full out grocery store from chips, cakes, cookies, the refrigerator full of orange, everything. Like they could literally go in there and actually grocery shop for $1 or two less and pay her and keep on going. She literally saving the neighborhood on groceries. I'm not gonna lie. She had a lot. And I was so happy. I don't want to mess up her name, but I love her acting. I love her acting. The person who played the let me look up characters' names. I wish I had my phone on me. It's charging, but um, but yeah, the person who played the mother, well, the candy lady, the person who had all the stuff. I love her acting. She's an amazing actress, and but yeah, so Kiki goes in there. She wants a little OJ, like she fresh off work. OJ, okay, cool, and then walks in, you know, she caught her eye on a dude and moving around, and she looking like. And of course, we all know Kiki comedy. It's like it's very quirky, but it's it's hysterical. It's just like okay. And so they do their little back and forth, and he asks her, "Does she want a honey bun?" And she like, "Er?" And the whole time he's talking about the real honey buns behind her, and she talking about, "Oh, I thought they were talking about these buns." Now that was like, and the whole time the kid started looking like, what y'all got going on? Is you okay, baby? It looked like she literally is like looking like, is you okay? So he goes out his way, get the honey buns, get whatever he needs, pays the lady, and tell I'll see you later. And of course, Kiki is like, huh, okay, who him? Or more so, I feel like either they knew each other or something like that. I forgot. I forgot. Like I said, it's been a day in between. I'm trying to catch everything, but I ain't gonna go bit by bit. But yeah, fast forward from the candy store lady, she meets up with the neighborhood hairstylist. I'm gonna say it like that, the neighborhood hairstylist, because yeah. So apparently he was supposed to be doing her hair that morning, so when she got off work. But he's like, yeah, it's the first, and I need paying clients. So apparently, she wasn't paying to get her hair done. It was probably like, hey, I got you type situation. And he's like, yeah, I need my money. I need to pay my bills for the first. So I'm gonna get these heads on the paying heads, and then I'm gonna get back to you. So it goes on. She like, you really playing? Like, you got half my scalp braided, and the other is just looking like, who did it? What for? And he just like put it in the bun. She storms off, and she's just like, you know what? Forget you. She goes up to the crib, and she goes in the crib. There's shoes everywhere. She's like, just what's up? What's up? What's going on? And she calls Scissor. She's like, hey, you need to tell your man to get his shoes up. And then Scissor goes into this whole bit of, oh, he's just, I'm like, for it to be y'all apartment, baby girl, I'm cool with your nigga being here, but I'm gonna need him to clean up. Like, he gotta clean up. He gotta do something. And I agree with her, cause I'm like, if y'all are paying rent, and then on top of that, he's not paying rent. He's giving no income on rent. So that's another red flag. And so, and honestly, I feel like Kiki is the breadwinner because SZA is an artist, an inspired artist. She has a lot of art pieces that Kiki, well, of course, Drew characters, Drew and Alyssa. Drew is working at Norms. I'm gonna say that's the name of the restaurant, Norms, and she's trying to go up to this high scale. I want to say high scale restaurant where she or manager position, one of them. I think it's both. I think it's a high scale restaurant that she's taking a manager position for, or something like that. And yeah, Drew is working, and Scissor, Alyssa is an artist, and it goes like, man, you don't care about your art, and your dude don't care about your art because he's putting shoes in hand. Like, what's up? The flow right there. He's disrespecting your art. He's disrespecting you, and uh, it it goes into something. She's like, oh, tell him come out here so he can clean up his stuff, and the dude comes out in a robe. Apparently, it's Drew's robe. And she's just like, is he in my robe? And it's just like he's talking and he's deflecting, like, if we're gonna be living together, I'm gonna need you to chill out a little bit. And I'm just, what? How's she gonna chill out in her own crib? She telling you to clean up in her own crib. Your stuff is everywhere in her crib. Her crib. Which ain't even 100. The ceiling and stuff falling. They got a lot going on in this one crib. Like, they are already struggling to pay rent, but it's just the fact the people they're renting from is not even taking care, like literally doing the things they need to do to make sure they're living. Like, I think she said windows, the ceiling, the water. It was a lot of stuff that was not working. But y'all, $1,500 for rent. 15 $1,500. If you don't see the movie and where they were staying, $1,500 is crazy. Yes, it sounds crazy, and there are some people that are actually paying that much in real life, but that is crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. Also, tidbit. In the whole interaction with the hairstyler earlier, he mentioned that there was possible people moving in because the grandma, that's the thing, he was like, with the grandma dying and him kicking the grandson out and leaving him on the curve, he heard through the grapevine that there was some new people moving in, being new people of yeah. So uh da 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 da, where else back to Drew. So they argue about him cleaning up, and Alyssa says she'll talk to him, and now it goes to Drew, like, my robe. He takes off the robe, and Drew is like, Medusa, like, I could turn to stone, baby. I could turn to stone. And it's like, if that is why you're with him, that is why you need to leave him. That is why you need to leave him. If anything, if nothing else is telling you to stay with this man, but that particular thing, that's a reason to leave. If he's not cleaning up, not helping pay bills, just lounging around, nothing at all, nothing at all. But yet, all you have is that particular piece between his legs. And Jules is like, yeah, baby, you got to let that go. So Jules is like, all right, you pay the rent. I'm finna go take me a nap before my interview. I don't even think she slept that long. Because between the times of her changing and laying down and putting on her little do not disturb, boom, 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 boom. How the living room looked, they should have opened that door. But Drew wakes up just like, why y'all ain't get the door? Kiki, this person's still knocking like they the police. And Kiki is like, what? And then she had to check her tone because it's the landlord. And he like, where's my money? And she looking like, what you mean? You got your money. We been paid you. He's like, do I look like a person that will lose some money? So where's my money? And it goes to, oh yeah, she ain't paid him. She lied. And now it's, oh, y'all need to have my money by 6 o'clock or y'all on the street. And he said six, I think he said 6 or 6:30, one of them. But every time he was supposed to go home, it was 6 o'clock. And he goes, and Drew was like, so now we need to talk. Because why he saying you ain't paid my rent? Or our rent, but my rent in general. I gave you this money to pay the rent. What's up? And the whole time, oh, she goes to check Alyssa. And yeah, basically stigmatized, excuse my language, but yeah, they done did the freaky deaky, and now she's in there in La La Land. And while this whole conversation is just right, like going down, while this whole conversation is going down, Keyshawn is just walking around. He left the room, and then we see him pick up a bag and dip, and they're discussing why the rent was not paid. And Alyssa's like, "Oh, I gave the money to Keyshawn to pay the rent. You gave your boyfriend that does not have a job, no source of income at all whatsoever, does not even clean up your rent money. You don't even have a job. So I'm confused why you gave your boyfriend the rent money to pay. I feel like you had time to go pay yourself. Outside of you painting, I give. You painting your painting, like that's cool. But in that time frame, you could have stopped and paid your rent instead of giving the money to him to pay your rent. And it goes in $1,500. You gave this man $1,500. And now they're like, okay, Keyshawn, get in here. Keyshawn's gone. Keyshawn, they cleaned up shoes, grabbed everything of his and dipped. Baby, he used you. You were a crutch or something like that. He just had a place to live. You was a freebie. He played you, stupid. And now they're in this whole trance of, now we gotta go get this money. Oh, they call Keyshawn. Keyshawn's phone is there with them, so they can't call Keyshawn. And then now they go take the phone to the neighborhood hairdresser, hairstylist, and he also know how to hack phones. He hacks the phone, and he's like, "Oh, that's that fine man." Da, 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 da. And apparently, just like right, a week ago, the neighborhood hairstylist told Alyssa that, oh, your man was in a trance being bounced on by the neighborhood bully. And basically, she just this like fine, mean woman. I don't want to say what they said in the movie, but basically, she one tough cookie. Like she running the game. Like ain't nobody can step to her. She don't care. She fight everybody, anybody, anytime on site. Don't mess with her. And apparently she take people's men. Hey, she see something she like and she take it. She know you gotta, hey, she take it. She take it. She takes it. So fast forward, they get their dress from the hairstyle. He able to lock the phone. They figure out where she at. They go to where she's at, or where they think Keyshawn is at the girl house. And so we pull up to a place. Kiki is like, hey, don't park right here because we see the time thing where it says towing between these hours. No parking between these hours because your car will get towed. Kiki, let's leave that right there. Car gonna get towed if you park right here at this time. They go in. The whole place is sketchy. You see a little piece of hair tumbleweed. It's literally weave tumbled. Like the tumbleweed is literally hair weave. That was so crazy. And this apartment complex looked way worse than theirs. You see a woman like, oh, I always thought they was gonna open doors for me in this month. And the crazy part is she said that because they walking away with her door, her actual house home door. They're literally off the hinges, walking away. And the landlord, you should have paid your rent. Oh, oh Jesus! I was like, oh, the first make people go crazy. It really does. I'm not gonna cut, but goes on. Um, Drew is like, oh, I'm gonna go through the front. You go through the back. So, hey, I'm gonna say it like this before I go too far. For me, Kiki played her part. I believe Drew is Drew. Like there was no. Oh, don't get me wrong. I've been watching kekePalmer for a long. Like she's a part of my childhood, literally. From so, of course, I'm going to acknowledge. Oh, that's kekePalmer, but I do acknowledge that. Oh, that's True Jackson VP, or that's Aquila, or like in this instance, that's Drew. I've gotten that. Now with SZA, I'm so this might break some hearts, but I feel like SZA was SZA, not Alyssa, SZA, and they just named her Alyssa. That we just gonna put that pin right there. Okay, so I'm not saying SZA was bad. I'm not saying it was terrible. She did good for her first time around in a like literally a movie, not no TV show. She hit a movie. She did good. I give her credit. She was good. And then, given that you got a an acting coach, soon as you hit the film, and you still had other stuff you was doing. So what you gave to the film, it was amazing. I give you that. But as far as character wise, to say, oh, Alyssa, SZA, yeah, it felt like SZA to me. It felt like they took aspects of SZA and just made a character and said Alyssa, which made it easier for SZA to be Alyssa, if that makes sense. Feel like, yeah, you already, this is already you, so all you got to do is just change your name. That's how my take from it. But furthermore, um, yeah, they get to the apartment. Drew knocks on the door. The girl comes to the door like, "Who is you?" And Drew goes in full effect of, "Hey, girl, I remember you." Da 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 da. And the whole time, like the girl looking like, "Do I know you? Huh? Huh?" And then Drew goes into, "Yeah, you inspire me the way you just be knocking down." And then when we was in school, da da da. That's what she messed up. Once they started talking about school and teachers, that's when she started to be like, um, who are you? I don't know you. What you talking about? Like, and then when Drew mentioned, she was like, "Oh yeah, I knew you when that booty was flat," and that's when she like, "Oh, it always been thick. Ain't nothing flat about back here." I was like, "Yeah, I hope Alyssa is doing what she needs to do back there because it's falling to pieces up here." So we see Alyssa sneaking through the window. She catches Keyshawn in the bed, and then she sees the wallet. She does this whole switcheroo between a wallet and a magazine to not wake him up. He still end up waking up. And she's going to the wallet like, "Where's the money? Where's the money?" We're all like, "Where is the money?" Knowing by the time it's the day of the first, pretty sure you had already had the money in your hands. So that means he didn't probably spend it. Well and behold, he had spent the money on his clothing line. He said it's, I forgot what type of fabric. He said it was supposed to be a different type of fabric that's called Gucci. Uh, on brand of Gucci, but Gucci. So, so it goes to, oh, you ain't got my money. You cheating on me. You basically playing in my life, man. And she goes in like, now it's a lot of commotion, and the front is like, what's going on in the back? And well and behold, yeah, they run out, and the girl like, oh, you got me, what? They take off running. They take off running. They take off running, and the girl behind them. Next thing you know, she gets smacked dead with a dough, and everybody like, ooh, ah, and full on embarrassment. And that sends her into a full rage of, y'all think this funny? Y'all think this funny? Watch what I'm gonna do to them. For me, it's like I get it, but you need to blame him. He's the reason why they was there. And then on top of that, if you didn't chase them, you probably wouldn't have got hit with no door. And these people probably wouldn't have been laughing at you. But because they're laughing at you, you got recorded. Now you got to find some type of retaliation. And that's where this begins of a whole chase. That's where it starts to feel like a Friday type of situation. Or even not even just Friday. Well, I want to say different aspects of each Friday. Like you got a person looking for, where's my money? Well, I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit. So, or I'm gonna come back to this. We're gonna put a pin in that. With the different aspects of Friday, I'm gonna put a pin in it. I'm gonna come back to that, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Fast forward. Um, they need money. They don't got the money. They need to have the money by 6 o'clock. They get away from the girl. The girl is mad. They find themselves at a loan place to get a loan. And this is where it's just very hysterical because this whole scene from Cat Williams being Lucky and Lucky saying, hey, don't go in there. They ruin your life. It's an endless rabbit hole. Just get out. Save yourself. He's setting warning, warning, warning. They go in doing the application. He's banging on the window like, save yourself. Get out. They're not for you. And the lady comes in, she's like, she calls the number and she's steady calling the number. And they're like, okay, she's getting louder and we're just right here. And she's like, once they said, like, okay, we're right here, it's just like, well, walk faster. And I'm like, toot a little bit. You got a little attitude. And so they sit down. Apparently, Alyssa is the one that was going to get the loan. And once they started talking about income and what do you do, she's talking about, oh, I'm an artist, and as she's talking, the woman is balling up the paper. She's balling up the paper like, do you get it? Child support, any source of income that I could pull it from. Mm-hmm. Do you get any type of money from your paintings? Like something? Nothing. So it becomes a joke at this point. And so kekePalmer is just like, okay, let's try me. And she's like, I just need to pull up something. No matter the credit score, how low, how high, not to say you're going to get approved. This is where she pulls up Drew's credit score. And baby girl is at a 122. 122. And she's just like, that is just awful. Like that is below bad. Like, man, like she's laughing in their faces at this point. Like full out blown laughing, like, I can't help you at all, baby. Like decline, 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 decline. Like you can't get nothing. 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 Nothing at all. So fast forward, they leave there. He's like, Lucky. They walk out there. Lucky's like, oh. Thank God you didn't get hurt. And then it goes to I think they yeah, this the time where they go to the blood bank. Of course, going to the blood bank. Um, this is where they, give blood for money, and I think it's about 70 some dollars per, how much you give, and we go in here and we see, I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry, but we see Ava from Abbott Elementary, Principal Ava. We see her. She comes in. She was like, "Yeah, I'm new at this," and she was like, "I'm new at this," and mm-mm. She was like, this is my first time. What did you do before?" She was a stripper. She was a stripper. This was her first day. And literally, the whole time we looking at her, she's trying to find the vein or she's trying to get it. And then she's like, "Oop," like she bricks her and it's the wrong brick. And Drew was like, "Ow!" Like, what? And that's what she reveals it's her first time. And now they all looking at her like, what? So she finally finds the vein, and it's gonna be at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes, to go and do what you gotta do. And Alyssa goes to the other room and sits down. So time goes on. Drew asks the nurse, will I get more money if I donate more? And I feel like in that moment it was against code because you're only supposed to give a certain amount because you could die. Like you losing a lot of blood, even though you're giving blood and it regenerates. But right now you're giving a decent sized amount of blood, so it turns into Big Key. It was only supposed to be 30 minutes. We look up, it's past 30 minutes. It's way past 30 minutes. I think it was 11 o'clock, and she was supposed to get done at 11:30, and then look up, it was 12. I think 12 or one of them. And we fat like Alyssa wakes up, she jumps back, she sees the time, she goes to where Drew is. She's like, and she's looking very, very pale. Drew has gave 4 pints of blood, if that's correct. I hope that's correct. 4 pints. I hope I got that right. 4 pints of quarts. What it? I feel like it's pints. 4 pints of blood, and now it's just like, baby, you look dead. You look deceased. And she's like, what happened to my friend? What's going on? So she pulls the needle out, and next thing, and the nurse comes, what you doing? That's my job. What's going on? They're literally fighting over the blood, and the blood is splattering everywhere. It's getting everywhere. So everything Drew just done to give blood, or all the blood she just gave, is now voided. Like, can I still get the money? Like, no blood, no money. The blood is everywhere. But, she said, the nurse was like, oh, there's I think she said it was like a clothes drop box, whatever she said it was. They end up going to get a change of clothes. And more so, they look like, Kiki looks like a stripper. She looked like she just got from the club. And SZA is wearing this like jogging suit. And they, with the blood, you also get, with giving blood, you get the money, and then you also get like a free pie or something from, like, they got like a little whatever ticket, whatever, that gives like free pies. So they go to churches to get the free pies. It's right across the street. They go to churches. Oh, B Key. I jumped the reel a little bit. B Key, go back. They're walking. They're walking. When they left that girl crib, Scissor's car got towed. And Drew's like, I told you not to park them. Carter got told, they're walking. So now they're walking to churches. And the inside is closed. So they have to walk through the drive through, which is crazy. And it's like, yeah, of course, customer service being customer service you have some good ones and you have some bad ones. That's all I can say. You have some good ones and you have some bad ones. they're talking about, oh, can we substitute the biscuit or substitute the pies for biscuits? And of course, they're able to do that. Goes through the drive-through, ready to get the biscuits. Alyssa, Alyssa notices that Kiki's, the person she was talking to, her little thug she was talking to earlier, and that's what that's. She thinks he's a thug. His name is Maniac. His nickname is Maniac. So she's like, he can't see me like this, and da da da. Wait, am I going too far? Yeah, he can't see me like this, and da 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 da. And so, um, they get ready to get the biscuits, and of course, somehow there's a biscuit thief. He comes through the drive-through and takes their food, people's food, because apparently he likes the biscuits. We're gonna just come to that conclusion that he likes biscuits. But he stole the biscuits before they could get them, and the dude and Maniac is in the car behind them, and he's like, yeah, somebody need to get that dude, or something in the sense of like, okay, y'all hop in, I'm gonna get y'all some food type stuff. He gets them some food, they pull around to the front of Chargers Park, whatever, and they go into this whole spiel of, oh, you gotta try the hot sauce and honey on the chicken, and uh Drew gives Alyssa that, and then he's like, oh, let me try it. And Drew like, you want me to feed it to you? Now wait, per description and how they're perceiving this man and what we're giving, like what details we're getting, like about this particular character, I feel like this should have been a point where that was like, hold on, you a thug? Or like, I feel like some indication of that should have been like, what you listening to? So as they're in the car scene doing this whole thing with the hot sauce and chicken, the song in the background comes on. It's by Smoke. The song is called Pool. 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 And is man, it's been out for a while. I want to say 2023 is when the album came out. It might be, yeah, I want to say 2023. 2023, if not 2022. It's one of them. He had dropped an album, and this particular song was on said album. And it's been in my track list it's been in my playlist for a minute. It's been in playlist for a minute. And I've played it numerous times. So when I heard it, I looked and I was like, is that, wait, that's my boy Samo. Thomas spelled backwards for those who try to be funny. It's my boy Samo. And his song is playing during this whole scene with the car scene with the churches. And for me, I felt like it was a one up for. I'm not saying he's an indie artist, but he's an artist that's up and coming that has literally been slept on. And the fact he has a movie, like he has a track on a movie, congrats. And a particular song, I'm not saying it's not gangster music, it's not, but how this character was being put out there, I'm like, y'all not gonna say, oh, what's this? Why you ain't playing no trap music? What you listening to? Some in that indication of, oh, this my song, or something like that. To like, oh, this character is listening to, but I get it, it's a new day and age. Men listen to, we all listen to variety ranges of music, and it's just like, but in that, when I'm like, we in the hood and you playing this, I feel like that should have been a topic of conversation, but it wasn't. So it goes on to, he has to go do something, and well, Alyssa stepped out for something, and I guess that was the talk. I forgot how it went, but Alyssa stepped out. He gets a call. I feel like she stepped out way before he got the call. But he gets a call, and he's like, and Drew rides with him on the way to the call, and he has to go handle some stuff. As we see, I think he hits the brakes a little bit or something, and we see a what's they called, an axe. This is like I said, what's they called? an axe slides from up under the seat, and we all like, "Oh, you don't use guns. You like you just eh." So Kiki like, "Oh, what they got you maniac for?" And so while they were talking, Kiki gets another call from Lucky, and she like, "What you doing calling me? What's up?" And he's like, "Hey, you need to come save your girl. She doing some crazy ish." Like, so they do a whole U-turn to go see where the girl at. While Alyssa up on the power lines trying to get some shoes that's tied to the power lines. Like in the hood, when you go across, or in the ghetto, a little bit in the ghetto, but I say ghetto, but ghetto, the projects, however you want to put it. Sometimes you'll see a pair of shoes connected, and they tie the strings together and they throw them up there. I mean, they just do. Some people feel lucky, and with that, and lucky is like, girl, leave them shoes alone. They curse. Leave them up there. Them so and so shoes. She ain't going for that. So, um, she able to get the shoes down. Kiki catches the shoes, and boom, Alyssa gets electrocuted, and she falls on top of Kiki. They wake up in Kiki. They're broke. They're broke. They're broke. They wake up in the ambulance, and it's just like, all right, girl, are you stupid? Why did you call the ambulance? And then Kiki like, we gotta get up out of here. We ain't got no money. And the old folks was like, we already took you halfway. We got your information. We're still gonna send the bill. And so they're literally limping. She has a whole headscarf on. Just, baby, you didn't fail. You didn't fail. Or somebody fell on you. You got a concussion. Like, something is wrong. And um she mentions that um she mentions that Maniac was the one who called the ambulance, and how he knew everybody by name. It's just like, your man must be a real killer. He must be killing a lot of people for him to know the ambulance people by the names and stuff. And I feel like there was a little note, like from the acts to that, to the like, piece some clues together. They get the shoes, and they looking at retail price for the shoes is $2,500, which is more than they need to cover rent. So they're like, oh, we need to sell the shoes now. Da da da. They find a buyer. They go to the buyer. Drew sells the shoes. Now, this whole interaction, we have Lil Rel. Lil Rel is buying the shoes. I forgot the character's name. I don't think they mentioned his name. I think he was just buying the shoes. Goes in, buying the shoes, talks about how her dad wore the shoes, of course, creating a false story just to sell the shoes. And next thing you know, L'Oreal busts out in tears after the story, and he feels something. They try on the shoe. Like, she literally put the shoe on his foot, and he's just like, oh my God, my dad. And this is where Drew caves in and is like, okay, I'll take 1,500. And he like, okay, baby, you got gypped. You should have stuck to the same price with $2,500. You got gypped out of 1,000. But be key, all they need to do is pay the rent. So by this time, it's almost time for Drew's interview, and they're nowhere near home, and she does not have the correct clothes on. They got to make some shape. Hair not done. So they do a little something to make sure she's straight, to, make her look good. And she also hits to Drew like, hey, stop flashing money. Stop, put the money up. Because for me, in my opinion, I'm like, why are you flashing money? That is rent money. Baby, that ain't no money like we finna go out and shopping. That ain't nothing we just hit a lick. Baby, this is the money that should have been paid on my rent that we should have already done. Put that money up. And this is where I feel like they should have just gone split up. Like, oh, you go pay the money while I do my interview. So, but that does not happen. She said, oh, I'm gonna sit over here while Drew goes to her interview. The interview went so well, y'all. The interview went so well. We're not even fully gonna talk about the interview, We're gonna talk about Alyssa in this moment because this is where it becomes a problem. While you are waiting on your friend in the most important interview of her life at this moment, y'all are broke. This is going to put y'all up there. This is going to put some more income in our pocket. Like, this is more what I'm getting paid at Norms. Way more. This position is going to put us up. We're going to get out the gutter. BK, the girl's still looking for him. She didn't track him down from like the girl Keyshawn cheated on Alyssa with. They're riding around the town looking for them. They didn't went to the lease. Did they go to the long place? I don't know if they went to the long place, but I do know they went to the blood clinic, and then they went to the churches. When they went to the churches, the biscuit stealer tried to steal her biscuits. She ran the biscuit stealer over. She was like, "Why y'all playing with me today? I'm gonna need y'all to stop playing with me today." And so it goes on. She started telling Keisha on text her, "Where she at? Where she at? See where she at? Where she at? Where she at?" Baiting her. Like, and she, after so long, now after Drew is not with you, you fall for the trap. You send this man a picture of you and this Mexican man at this fruit station. You tell me, "Oh, I only got money for the small cup, but I want the large one." A fruit cup. Not saying I ain't not nobody who like no fruit cups, but baby, get your fruit cup and sit down. Cause like I said, I felt like they should just party ways, and she should have went to go pay the rent to go and get that over with. Because they only had about roughly 2 hours left to pay the rent. So interview went well. She Alyssa falls for the clickbait, and now you just sent the picture of you and the dude at where she was at. Basically, dropped a pin. The girl realizes where they at, and she pulls up. She's like, "Oh, you thought I wasn't gone?" Freezes, completely freezes in the. Why didn't you run? Get away from her place. Literally, the place where your friend is trying to get a job. Why didn't you run? Why did you get away? Why did you stay right there? But you chose to stay right there for whatever stupid reason. What makes no sense? I don't get it. So, fast forward. Um, what else? Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Um, Drew and the hiring managers hear the commotion. And all you hearing about Drew, Drew, help me, Drew, Drew. And now it's just like I'm trying to get this job. They say I got it in the bag. So for this second, I'm gonna act like I don't know you. But then I'm looking, I'm like, oh, she had to go help a friend. And then they both got their tail whooped. Like she whooped they butts. And this is where it's like face palm because you had the money in your pocket. She didn't take, oh, she like, oh, you got some money too? She take that like, oh, this is for y'all for putting me through this day. There goes rent. By the time they get home, why all this stuff on the curve? He's like, oh, I made a suggest. Like he just guessed. He's like, I don't think y'all have money anyway, so I'm gonna go and put it on the curve. And Alyssa is just like, oh well, I'm finna sit down. Drew is like, hey, what's up? You said, wait, dang, it was only 30 minutes. You'd already put our stuff on the curve. What's up? It's like, man, I mean, I figure, do you got the rent money? That's why I put it on the curve. You ain't got the rent money, so you stuff it on the curve. What? It was on. So Drew's like, give me some more time. He give them to 11:59 that night. 11:59 that night. To make matters worse, prior to, remember the shoes that Alyssa took? Yeah, that was somebody's shoes that wanted them shoes to stay up there. Bigelow. Big Low wanted them shoes, and he just like, so since you didn't show my shoes, I want retail price, like the actual price that, like, hey, if you just get these at the store, that's how much they are. So they agreed. Guess how much some shoes was supposed to be? $5,000. So you need 1,500 and $5,000. You need 1,500 for rent and 5,000 for these shoes to pay this man to not kill y'all. And he gave them by 10 o'clock. And this is where, I go say, um, you have a little aspect of Friday, because in the first movie of Friday, Craig owed Debo some money, or Craig and I forgot what was Craig. I forgot Chris Tucker's his character name. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Uh, they owed Debo, and then I want to say Friday after next, they owed the landlord. So it's like it got little aspects of Friday, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. That's where I'm like, oh, you owe somebody, and then you got to pay rent, just a little bit. So with that being said, I did, like, I'm trying to get all of it. What else? So uh, it was a time before they. Oh, it was way earlier in the movie where they introduced the new neighbor, and she turned out to be white. Yes, she was a white neighbor. She was a Caucasian woman. She was just like, "Hey neighbors, what's up?" She greeted Alyssa and Drew. Was like, "Y'all want to come over and have drinks, and we could do." I forgot. She said something. It was P and P, but it was something. It was two words that began with a P. I forgot what it was, but she basically invited them over to come have drinks, have like a little girls' night, whatever. And fast forward, we come back. The same neighbor, she's like, "Oh, are y'all having like a yard sale or something?" And they both was like, "Yeah." Not really saying, "Yeah, we having a yard sale, but we gonna sell some stuff because we got to get rent." And that's when she turns to one of Alyssa's paintings. Was like, "Oh my god, this is oh my She likes it, and that's when Drew is like, "Price." Alyssa is like, "Free," and that's when it again. We need rent. What do you mean free? You got somebody that wants to buy your paintings. I always told you that your paintings was good. They were great. They're amazing. You're an amazing artist. But for some reason you can't see that because you're so stuck up behind Keyshawn. So Drew's like, yeah, her mind is swirling. So she come up with this whole art gallery where they're gonna sell Alyssa's art to get the rent. And they asked their neighbor to be like, "Hey, well, their neighbor was like, she wanted to post it on her page or whatever. And they see how many followers she had, and she do promos, or she put people on basically. And that's what they wanted her to do for Alyssa. Like, hey, can you post this? We're gonna do a little some tonight. Make it seem like it was already planned. They get fast forward. They do everybody help out, do the whole little setup. Because hey, they want their neighbors to make their rent. So, and then the landlord is a hole. So, yeah. Uh, Fast forward. They're doing great. They're doing great. They finally get their money. They finally make enough. Well, reel this back in. Reel it back in. Reel it back in. Reel it back in. Reel it back in. So while they're coming up with the idea to sell her art, they seize the neighbor's place. And they're like, "Your air work? Your water work? Like everything's working fully, everything is completely different." I was like, "Oh yeah, it looked just like on the website." I'm like, hmm. So while everybody else stuff is in the dumps, you live in luxury. And that's when she was like, that's when the new neighbor put together, like, oh, he needs money. She's like, oh, they kind of, spice it up a little bit, make it look good. So people like me can move in and pay more, or, you know, basically bring more business in. And that's when they're like, oh, he finna have to do a little work when we move back in. But fast forward, they do the whole art gallery. They're making money, and they actually do get the amount five. They get 5,200. I want to say they could make 5,200. And this is where it's almost time for Bigelow. Bigelow is the person who's after them to kill them. Bigelow is like, yeah, I want my money now, and Drew is like, go get the money. Alyssa's like, why can't we just keep it? Drew is like, what do you mean keep it? He's trying to kill us. What do you mean? What do you mean trying to keep it? Why are you trying to keep this man is trying to kill us? And that's where Big Lois is like, where's my money? You're playing with me. Why are you playing with me, Drew? And he and Drew's like, you're not gonna shoot out here with all these kids. But yeah, you're not gonna shoot me out here with all these kids. And that's where you're like, baby, I don't care about these kids. I don't care about none of that. I want my money. Or I'm finna get some bodies. And that's what he wanted, was some bodies. Like, I'm finna, where y'all at? Where's my money? So they sent him on a wild goose chase. And what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Apparently, Alyssa called the police. She called the police, and they go up to their place and hide from Bigelow. And this is where they see Keyshawn. He got all these candles lit, and it's just like, I want to make it up to you, and she scares me. Oh my, she made me do things I don't want to do. And this is where, no, not this one. But basically, in this whole interaction of Alyssa's like, no, you gotta go. You create this mess, blah blah blah. And this is where Big Low pops in like, I'm not playing. Y'all done called the folks on me. This is where the apartment being per comes in their favor. The ceiling falls on top of Bigelow, knocks him out. Biggie, Keyshawn done lit all these candles. So now Bigelow catches fire because he knocked over one of these candles because he got knocked unconsciously. Well, knocked unconscious. And yeah, he's caught on fire. Now they're like, oh, we gotta be key. The water is not really flowing that well, so they're trying to hurry up. Keyshawn is fanning the fire. He's fanning the fire, so it's going to spread. So they threw a little bit, literally the little water they threw only covered Bigelow. And that is where he was burning it. And now it's like, oh, we gotta get up out of here. They look for a window. Of course, the windows are barred up. Yeah, there are bars on the window, so can't nobody come save them. Like literally, they tell me, "Oh, before we die, this, and the third." They're screaming for help, and next thing you know, all you hear is doom, 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 doom. Firefighters come through, helping them out, And then this is where I get the suspicion, like, "Oh, is this maniac?" Because at this point, I'm like, I done put some clues together, but it would be like, oh, your man didn't save you from a fire type thing. And that's where my mind goes. And we fast forward a little bit after they got the house. Wait, roll it back. So while they were on fire, while the place was engulfed in flames, they were like, oh, we gotta save Big Low. Alyssa don't want that bad karma on her. So of course they're gonna save Big Low. Fast forward, they're at the truck and the firefighter starts taking off his gear. And we're like, why are you taking off your gear? Because of course they still got to put it finish doing their job. But in actuality, it's Maniac, and she looking like, for one, I feel like it was a mix of emotion, like, oh my god, it's you, and you saved me. Oh my god, and you're a firefighter. It was all the mix of emotions, And that's when it's just like, oh. And that's when he shot, like, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. It was like, yeah, I went to juvie back then, but I kind of, like, from transferring to juvie, he went to like a firefighter camp or something like that. I forgot exactly what he said it was, but he's a firefighter, which explains the acts, emergency calls, stuff like that. Uh, he also explains to her, it's like, yeah, due to a lot of violations with y'all apartment that I'm gonna have to talk to y'all landlord about, because it wasn't supposed to engulf in flames that quickly. It wasn't supposed to just. So yeah, y'all are straight, and I'm gonna make sure y'all straight. You gonna have fire insurance claim, whatever it was, whatever she needed, it was gonna get done per maniac. Like, hey, they gonna have a talk with the landlord. Like, hey, all this is supposed to be fixed in case of a fire and their stuff. This is supposed to be done, and you did not do that. So now we have a problem. And yeah, uh, Bigelow pops back up, or he comes up unconscious, and yeah, turns out it was the lone people. Turns out it was the lone people from earlier when she said, "Oh, what she say? There's this big wall. On if you watch the movie, you'll see this big wall of people that owe them, like like, hey, lock you up, jail time, like you owe us money, like." And Alyssa remembered, and when she seen him, like, for the first time at the art show, whatever you want to call it, she put two and two together, like, oh, that's him, and she called them, and now, yeah, they arrested him, and yeah, so now they have $5,200. I hope they still have $5,200. Now they have $5,200, and yeah, they're able to save their place. Yeah, they 100. Now, my thing is during this whole time they did have a moment where they both was like very heated at each other and really talked about their flaws. Like, Alyssa called Drew out on her flaws, and Drew. This is where I feel like Drew only flaw was helping her friend, standing by her friend. It's not so much of a flaw, but to literally, you are literally, I counted on you. Like, I'm working day in and out. I'm trying to better myself. Don't get me wrong. I have this self, like, I'm pushing myself back from my goals, making it seem like, oh, am I ready for this? Can I do this? Can I handle this pressure? That is Drew's only problem. Alyssa is just like flowing through life, and that's Drew's crutch. Like, you are literally holding on Drew for every little thing, but you're the one who's actually messing up her life. Just me being real, like how everything played out. You gave Keyshawn the rent money. You still texted Keyshawn to find y'all at her place where she was trying to get a job. You did that. You did all this stuff. You didn't take no lick for no blood. You didn't got this woman knocked out for some shoe. You kind of messed up her life. But she still stuck beside you, which I commend. But yeah, so it fast forwards, it does the whole thing. They got their place back, they're in their place, and they're building their credit score. It said their credit score was a combination of four something. Like, they had a combination, like, both their credit scores put together, it equal to 400 something, which is crazy. But that was real funny. But all in all, this was a good movie. Issa, I want to see more movies. Do more movies. If you can do more comedy movies, if you even want to throw your hand in I feel like produce by Issa. You did great, Mamas. Kiki, you did great, Mamas. Scissor, I applaud you. You did great, Mamas. 10 out of 10. If y'all have not seen this movie, I suggest y'all go watch this movie. And this was my thoughts on the movie. Like, I feel like it was. I feel like it could have been a little bit longer, but it was literally all in one day, which made it more like, this is the first day of the month. People do crazy stuff on the first day of the month. It's just one of them days, man. But tell me what y'all thought if y'all have seen the movie. If you not have not seen the movie, please go see the movie. It came out on the 19th. You still have time. It is out. It is out. It is out. Go run that box office up. This was like, if you want a good, I ain't saying it's just like throughout the whole thing, but you do get a good laugh. You do get a good laugh. You do get a good laugh throughout the full movie. You get a good laugh. There's here and there's, of course, life moments here and there, but I feel like y'all should really go check the movie out. And yeah, this was my thoughts. This was my opinion. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see y'all in the next video.